Ah yes, the Backrooms, a wonderful realm only accessible by no-clipping through our world, filled with liminal areas you would remember dreaming about, but filled with monsters that are out for your blood. Something we can clearly see thanks to the numerous games that have been made over the years that focus on the Backrooms, with one in particular that happens to be my absolute favorite out of all other Backrooms games. Greetings my horror enthusiasts, my name is Rojo, a demon wolf here to persuade you of why living in the Backrooms can be a good thing for you and totally won't get you killed. Don't worry about it too much. I mean, what else is there to say about the Backrooms? It's a realm that's said to exist as a backlog of data of our realm that's been classified as the front rooms for some reason, while the backroom areas are thrown out into the abyss for something else to take over and inhabit. It's an area humans, known as wanderers in this case, are not supposed to be at as they are too dangerous for anyone to stay. Well, for some levels actually. There are some that's actually pretty nice to live in with no dangers whatsoever. So for those that never knew where the Backrooms made its appearance, it all started on a 4chan's X Paranormal board where the users posted images of areas that felt off, with this one being the first of many images that followed suit. An image of a backroom retail outlet with yellow stained wallpaper, moist looking carpet, and fluorescent lights that is the only audible thing you would hear. I already talked about the main 9 levels of the Backrooms in this video right here. Made 2 years ago. Jesus, time really does fly by. This started a trend known as liminal spaces, where people posted images of areas that were either abandoned or had no life present, often feeling a sense of calm, nostalgia, and at some point unease and discomfort. Yet no matter what image is shown, Gen Z people find eerie comfort looking at these areas and wanting to explore them that's completely devoid of life. I honestly feel the same way. Later on, these same images would soon take a twist in the horror community, yet again starting with this exact image. This post that was shared everywhere states that if you're not careful and no clip out of reality, this is where you would be taken to, an area known as the Backrooms, a labyrinth of randomly generated rooms that stretches on forever. God save you if you hear something wandering around near you. Fast forward to 2022, an interesting fellow named Kane made a short video showing the danger that is in the Backrooms. This became so popular that now he's making it into a highly anticipated movie. Thus, a new idea was born for the horror community. Take a liminal space and put it in as a POV shot, add in a VHS effect to make the video look old, then add monsters that fits in with the area. This takes on a similar trait with the SCP community, as the Backroom Wiki shows that there are thousands of levels, each one either being a safe place for wanderers or becoming the most dangerous area filled to the brim with monsters. So far, there isn't an actual way to end up in the Backrooms, at least that I know of, but we can simulate what it's like to explore those areas thanks to the numerous games that were made. Some stick to an exploration style of traversing through a liminal space, while others try to stay faithful to the wiki by adding in monsters that chase you down. This all leads to what I believe is my favorite Backrooms game of all time, Escape The Backrooms. Now before this game came out, there were already multiple Backrooms related games that came out on Steam. However, the majority of them took place in the same level 0 area and would just be a walkthrough throughout the whole game. Sometimes the games would stitch other liminal space areas for players to walk through, and occasionally we'll have a monster roam the area for people to survive from. In 2022, around the same year when Kane made his Backrooms video, an indie developer identified as Fancy Games started an experiment. He wanted to make a quick, simple multiplayer horror game to, quote, scare the crap out of their friends. Fancy released the game in August on Steam, unknowingly releasing what will be one of the most popular and well-known Backrooms horror games ever known. Unlike the other games where players wander around empty liminal spaces, Escape the Backrooms has players working together to avoid getting killed by monsters while also solving puzzles to advance. Over the years, the game has been getting multiple updates, with more levels being added, new puzzles to solve, new gameplay mechanics like adding in a sanity meter and inventory spaces, and even proximity chat where both players and entities can hear you. Fancy also worked on getting the game to work on VR, but so far to no success. So instead, he decided to work on getting the games made for consoles, which is dated to be released sometime in the summer. Assuming it hasn't been out while this video was being made. As Fancy's community started growing thanks to YouTubers and streamers playing his game, so too came the demands of when he would release new updates for the game. But seeing as he was only one man that was developing the game, the updates would take months for it to be released. Not only was Fancy adding new levels, but he had to keep the game polished and bug-free as people played the game. During this time, the game was stuck on early access for about 4 years on Steam, since Fancy also had life stuff going on in the background before committing to developing the game full time. It also prevented his game from being approved for console releases so that players on Xbox and PlayStation could try out the game. So, in 2025, Fancy partnered up with a team known as Secret Mode, who helped Fancy speed up progress on polishing the game and getting it ready for future updates as he added new levels and puzzles. That's saying, right here, adding new levels is what made Escape the Backrooms as popular as it is today. You have well-known levels like 188, 94, 7, 39.99, even Level Fun and its fan-made Level Fun Plus, along with lesser-known sub-levels like ones for Level 0 and the sub-areas of the pool rooms, each one having its own unique puzzles and monsters that impede your progress. If you guys followed me on Twitch, I played throughout the entirety of Escape the Backrooms version 1.0, and you bet that once these new updates come out, I'll be playing it again to see what new stuff has been added, along with some funny moments as I'll be playing the game with my friends. While we wait for the update to come out soon, I figured I'd talk about my favorite levels that made me love the game, along with some levels that made me want to turn into those wretches residing in the neighborhood in Level 9. By that I mean driven to insanity, which was a lot. That also caused a lot of death. There are currently 30 levels in the game so far as of May when I typed up the script, with level 0 being the one we looped back to about 3 times during the run. Not in the same area we were at, but leading us to its different sub-levels. The hub is also a big part of the game, as certain levels are connected for us to get to whenever there's a level with a secret exit. Seeing how many levels were added, the game also had multiple endings, one where we fall to our death, one where we end up in level 11, one where we live in level 974, at least that's what I think was happening, one that shows the T's level 94 that was shown in the first version of the game, and finally, one where we actually escape the backrooms. Since more levels are going to be added, my guess is that there will be more endings possibly being added in the future. Those that know me probably know that my favorite level in the backrooms is Level Fun, the area where it's in the style of a children's birthday party rooms filled with the entities known as partygoers, a hive race that tricks wanderers into entering a seemingly safe level only for them to shred their victims to pieces. That's why in the game we have to hide under tables and sneak around them to get past, with the occasional chase hallways. By the way, I just want to make a quick side note. When Level Fun was first shown in the game, partygoers used to look like this. A cube-looking monster that looks like it was made for that one Roblox game inspired by this game. Then Fancy updated them to look like this. A much more terrifying looking hive creature that still holds that cute balloon in their hands as they devour you alive. Now, you guys might think this would be my most favorite level, but that award actually goes to its sister location, Level Fun Plus. Lore-wise, this area was a fan-made area that supposedly expands Level Fun by these beings called party creators, who are basically partygoers but with God mode on. It's said that they were the ones that made these party room areas and would shape it to their image to catch their prey with ease. Sounds impossible to survive from, right? Well, Fancy pretty much thought the exact same thing when adding this level, so instead we are introduced to party hosts. These things are said to be the ones in control of the group of partygoers sent out to find their victims. While the first one only had you sneaking around them to go from point A to point B, Level Fun Plus had more of a puzzle solver. Actually, no, there were 4 puzzles to solve actually, all with the similar task of not getting killed by the birthday boys that charge at you. And, I'm sorry, can we hear the music real quick?
Fasten your seatbelts, we're going to eat ceilings. Better use your mucus cause you'll wish your name was Christopher.
Yeah, this constantly plays as you're getting the keys to escape. It's actually not that bad. What I love about this level is the nostalgia that is shown here. Ball pits, inflatable slides, party supplies, colorful walls, even that town rug a lot of kids played on in preschool. All this gives off memories of what our parties used to be when we were young. They were good times. That's sadly not there anymore. Anyways, there are other levels that I happen to like a lot. Level 9 taking place in the suburbs with a giant eyeball with legs watching over the neighborhood, and wretches that patrol and guard their homes that we invade. Level 94 that have houses on hills in a style of Peppa Pig as the day cycles to night and having you hide from those animation monsters. Then having you go to a castle in the sky that has a carnival with a clown. Yeah, a clown that hunts you down. There's even 2 areas that are simply known as level exclamation point, also known as run for your fucking life. As you can see in both of these levels, it's just a big chase sequence. Alarms are blaring, the whole area shines red, and a huge wave of monsters chase you down with debris that constantly gets in the way. The only difference is that exclamation point takes place in the hallway of a hospital. Bookshelves get knocked down, and beds roll right in front of you. Its sub-level, exclamation point dash exclamation point, sure there's a better way of saying these, takes place in an apartment complex that is known to be longer than the main level. So long that there would be blue rooms that give you breaks before needing to run again. I like this one since this chase sequence also throws in a little maze-like area. One wrong direction, and you're done for. Back to the beginning you go. The music and Sonic made for these levels are quite catchy, especially for the chase sequence for this level. Believe it or not, I died a lot because I was getting distracted by the music, which didn't help my case trying to remember which way I had to go. And the monster that's chasing you that's only a mouth surrounded by numerous hands? That's like Japanese horror levels of freakiness. Then, of course, I like ones that have less appearance of monsters like pool rooms, grass rooms, level 3999 with its nostalgic look of arcade places, and I was also fond of level 10. Even though lore-wise it's supposed to be a safe level for wanderers, Fancy decided on having the Sawyer kind of farmers take over the level, taking people from the roadside to the fields, and then having chainsaw-wielding maniacs chase you down. It was a surprising twist Fancy added, and I applaud him for it. Well, now that we got my favorite levels out of the way, let's talk about the ones I hated going through while playing the game. Now, just to be clear, the levels I'm talking about aren't ones that make it challenging to go through, like level 5's boiler room maze with the death moths, or level 6 where you have to navigate in the darkness, even though I was stuck on those 2 for a long time since I kept going in circles. The same thing can be said about the level with the death slides and the bacteria rooms. You guys should have seen how much I struggled finding those MEG employees to sacrifice. No, the levels I mostly wanted to talk about are ones that got me killed multiple times. Level 5's hallway rooms, for example, where skin stealers and hounds roam the hallways while you go to each room collecting letters telling you to look up to get the code for the door. The saving grace when it comes to playing Escape The Backrooms, at least for certain difficulties, is your progress saves whenever you get either close to solving a puzzle or when you get the exits to open right before you die. Well, in this case, and this could just be me being a dummy at the time, I would collect the letters, but not return them to the shelves in the main area to place them. By that time, skin stealers would chase me down, and despite the fact that I hide in the room, they don't even leave me alone until they charge in and kill me. Realistically, yeah, if they saw me hide, then I would be dead, but the times where I made sure they didn't see me and they still wouldn't leave, yeah, that pretty much got annoying. The same can somewhat be said for level 188, where you have to wheel the TV carts down to the elevator while avoiding the spider creature that took a bunch of adrenaline shots and zooms down the hall when it sees you. Scary for the first few times, but the annoying part was the weird, almost tank-like controls whenever you push the carts down the halls. You have to align it perfectly to make it down from one end of the hall to the other, and even just rounding the corner without the wall in the way. Turning it is also a pain, as it rotates like a tank cannon, but even that would be faster. Once again, the TV carts get put back in their spots if you end up getting killed before taking them to the elevator, which was a pain to complete. Yet it wasn't the most annoying. Then you got level 974, Kitty's house. The object on this one was to find the stuffed animals to put on the chairs in the stage area, while keeping an eye on Mr. Kitty over here from snapping your neck SCP style. Usually pretty easy to avoid getting killed by. Unless you end up getting cornered in a small room and he blocks the doorway, preventing you from escaping. If you're lucky, he would basically teleport away and you can get out. Unfortunately, I didn't have that luck. I could never squeeze by him, and it seems like he would get stuck on the doorway, which prevented him from teleporting away. So, I had to sacrifice myself. 3 times, by the way! Other than that, I actually wouldn't mind playing this level again, but not until they fix Kitty's issues of getting stuck half the time. The most annoying level that I refuse to go back to, even with my friends, would go to level 8, the cave level. Here's the thing, the first half where you avoid those death moths, that was no problem. The second half, however, is what made me want to no-clip myself into the void of the backrooms. Skin stealers once again make their appearance, but this time, while they're disguised, they also have a flashlight. And for some reason, their flashlights can make them see through walls. I kid you not, I would be on the other side, quiet as a mouse, knowing they didn't see me, yet as soon as I see the light from their flashlights whisk by through the wall, they instantly chase me down, as if they saw me. I'm not kidding when I say this, it took me hours to get out of the cave level, which I was only able to escape when they got stuck by the wall, blocked with those stalagmites shooting through the ground. I will never, ever go through that level again. It got me that annoyed, and yet, knowing me, once this game becomes available for consoles, I would have no choice but to go through it with my friends. Well, at least I can use them for a sacrifice, so it won't be that bad. So yeah, Escape the Backrooms is not just your typical Backrooms related games. The puzzle solving, the numerous levels you go through, the different enemies you have to avoid, and having some backup with a friend of yours, it is a pretty good horror game to play. I highly recommend giving this game a try if you haven't heard about it. So far, the only updated news is that the console versions will be released sometime this summer, while the devs work on being less silent and focusing on communicating more with their community members, supporting the game since the beginning. If you guys want to know when the updates for the game comes out, be sure to follow Fancy Games on YouTube and Twitter. You can also join his Discord server to participate in community events they got planned. I can't wait to see what other updates Fancy and his team has in store for us Wanderers. Thanks for watching. If you guys want to see me play more Escape the Backrooms and hear my thoughts in the future updates, then feel free to leave a like and comment down below. Subscribe for more content like this, and hit the bell icon to know when I upload a new video. Oh, and while you're at it, follow me on Twitch to know when I go live so you can see me get scared at every horror game I get my hands on. Until then, keep your fears and anxiety levels high. I'll see you very soon.